Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for tuning in. As you can already tell from the title, today's video is going to focus on Chrisean and Blueface. I really think it's essential to address them, to discuss their situation and really unpack what's been going on. I've mentioned Chrisean in some of my past deep dive videos where I talked about baby mama culture. And I'll leave that video linked below if you haven't seen it yet. But today's video is strictly about Chrisean, her behavior, her patterns, her actions, and how she might ultimately contribute to Blueface's downfall if he doesn't distance himself from her. Before we get started, make sure you hit the like button if you're a returning viewer. Also, I've been considering Don't Hold Me to It. Joining Vlogmas this year, that would mean posting every day until Christmas, or at least almost every day. You guys want to support me in that? Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Okay, I'm not going to keep rambling, let's jump right in. As most of you know, Blueface was released from prison just about a week ago, and since then, everything has been chaotic. But let's rewind to a few years ago, right before he went to jail when Chrisean ended up pregnant with his child, allegedly. If you're not familiar with the storyline, Chrisean claimed she was pregnant with Blueface's baby, but there were always rumors that the baby might not be his. People speculated that one of her exes, the man she dated before getting involved with Blueface, could be the actual father. That ex came online multiple times calling out Chrisean, saying she cheated on Blue while being with him. I remember those days clearly before the pregnancy even happened. She used to constantly complain that Blue was cheating and messing around with several women. And Blue would clap back saying, "You're cheating too. If you think I don't know what you're doing?" There were situations where he confronted her about hanging around rappers. He would say that while networking is cool, a lot of men in the industry use collaboration as an excuse for something else. And she would fall right into the trap every time. And then there were rumors about Offset hooking up with her. People said Offset got with Chrisean while he was still with Cardi. Blue said he didn't care because at that time, he was already dealing with someone else. But he also said Chrisean liked to make everything seem like he was jealous. I honestly used to think Blueface was exaggerating until she got pregnant and her ex came out with receipts, documents, text messages, and more, claiming they were still hooking up during her relationship with Blueface. And all he wanted was a DNA test. That's it. A simple DNA test, which she refused to give him. There were so many moments where Blueface himself would say, "That's not my baby." People assumed he was being manipulative, narcissistic, and don't get me wrong, he definitely is those things, but he wasn't lying about everything either. Chrisean was manipulative too. I think people underestimated how deceitful she could be. We noticed little things through the years, but her true nature became crystal clear when Blue went to jail because she finally had the chance to operate alone. Shortly after Blueface was locked up, Ronnie ended up murdered. And a lot of people believe Chrisean had something to do with it because right before his death, he was online demanding a DNA test, claiming the baby was his and preparing to expose her further. He even went on Tasha K's platform talking about how he deserved to know the truth, how any real father would want answers, and how Blueface knew more than he let on. People think Chrisean either played a role in what happened or at least knows what went down. And honestly, the way she talks about his death is suspicious. Her energy, her fidgeting, her lack of emotional connection when discussing it, it all gives off guilty vibes. It feels like she's hiding something after being on reality TV for years, starting with Blueface's show, Think Baddies. It became obvious that she's obsessed with controlling the storyline about herself. If you've ever watched Baddies on Zeus Network, you know exactly what I mean. That show features women from Bad Girls Club and new cast members, and Chrisean became a central figure for several seasons. Anytime someone confronted her, even when she was clearly in the wrong, she would explode, fight, scream, or attack someone. That wasn't just for TV. That's genuinely who she is. She's hit people unprovoked at events. She's fought Blueface, been in multiple domestic violence incidents. She's written in blood on his walls. She hit his mom, fought. His baby mother, violence is her go-to weapon whenever she feels she's losing control. Before Blue went to jail, everyone thought he was the only villain. People said he was using her, manipulating her, and he absolutely was. He instigated fights, taunted her with other women like Jaden, triggered her on purpose, then recorded her reactions to embarrass her. He thrived off of humiliating her. He mocked her intelligence constantly. He loved making her look unstable online. But growing up is realizing Chrisean was just as manipulative, just as toxic, just as dangerous. Their relationship was a battleground for power when Blueface violated probation and got sentenced to around 3 or 4 years. Something interesting happened. People finally got a clear look at who Chrisean was without his influence. When he first went to jail, she still attended his court hearings even though she had warrants out for her own arrest. Everyone online was basically like, yes, finally lock them both up. Because at that point, the public was fed up with both of them. Not one of them, both of them. After he was locked up, she disappeared from the internet for a minute. People were relieved. Many hoped she would calm down, especially since she was pregnant. Instead, she spent her pregnancy drinking, smoking, taking shots in clubs and bragging about it. She even went as far as saying she could abort the baby anytime and it wouldn't bother her. So when the child came out with clear signs of fetal alcohol syndrome, mothers online immediately recognized it. Chrisean got mad at them for pointing it out, but deep down she knew something wasn't right. She blamed everything on Blue. She said he didn't want the baby. He said the baby wasn't his. Called the baby Charles Barkley, which was disgusting and childish, but still. The issues with the baby weren't Blue's doing. She refused accountability. People tried to tell her the child needed medical attention, but she kept trying to control the narrative. And honestly, that need for narrative control is exactly why many believe she had something to do with Ronnie's death. If Ronnie proved the baby wasn't Blueface's, everything she built, her entire storyline of loyalty, love, and victimhood would come crashing down. Blueface had made her get multiple abortions in the past, and she finally thought having a baby would secure her position next to him, especially since Jaden was his first love and the one he always ran back to. When the baby came out looking more like Ronnie than Blueface, her storyline started unraveling. She couldn't have the world thinking she lied, cheated, and manipulated the situation for years. Now let's talk about Blueface. He's also extremely narcissistic. He mocks her publicly, physically fights her, emotionally withdraws when she does something he dislikes, runs to Jaden whenever he wants to trigger her, gets with multiple women to make her jealous, and uses triangulation to keep her unstable. He's manipulative, controlling, and thrives off chaos. These two are toxic because they're constantly fighting for dominance. Blueface absolutely used Chrisean for clout. He knew she attracted attention and he fed off it. Kay's rap career was steady but nowhere near as relevant until she came into the picture. Without her, he'd still be active. He's a hustler who's always working. But he wouldn't be nearly as present in the spotlight as he is today. Now fast forward to him getting out of jail. The day after his release, he went on DDG's live stream. In jail, he had some sort of relationship with a woman named Angela. Girlfriend or wife? Unclear. She was upset because he wasn't answering her calls. So what does he do? He calls Chrisean to pull up to the stream. She wasn't invited originally, but he invited her anyway. While he was in jail, she had been dating Bino, which she suddenly claimed was a PR relationship as soon as Blueface was about to get out. It was so obvious she was trying to cover her tracks so he wouldn't confront her about her behavior during his sentence. When she came to the live stream, she was all over him. You could tell she thought his invitation meant they were getting back together. He joked with her, called her a golden retriever. She giggled, and she brought Junior to the stream too. Blueface interacted with the baby like a normal father, showing affection and comfort. Meanwhile, you could tell Chrisean is embarrassed of Junior, always hiding him, wrapping him up, barely showing his face, treating him like an accessory instead of a normal toddler. Blue treated him normally, played with him, held him confidently.